Disgusting. Hey guys, it's Antony from Just Keep It Fresh. Just woke up from a bad dream and this is waking me up, which is awesome. And then this customer came and that's a nightmare. So back into a nightmare again, I guess. Well, this is a very special video. We've had a lot of people requesting for this video. They've asked us, we know we've done a video on how to clean or maintain your coating, but we wanted to have a more instructional, informative video, and that's what we're doing today. Physically instructional video on how to clean and maintain your coated car. So this car behind me, as you can see, it's a white Honda Type R, quite a rare car. Of course you want to keep it clean, right? But we also know that the car itself is kind of like, it's quite fast. So the customer loves to drive around, with this car at high speeds, especially in the rain. I don't think you can drift the car, you can probably power slide, but you can definitely see that it's really dirty. We walked around the car, we saw lots of watermarks, lots of dirt, layers of grimes, and basically, we're gonna teach you how to wash that off without damaging the coating. And if you do have extra stuff on top, like bug tarts, or even, your bird poop on it, be aware of those small things because they can damage your coating, they can damage your paint. And we're gonna teach you how to remove them easily without damaging your ceramic coating or your paint if it's been on your car under the sun for quite a long time. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right guys, so we've got the car in. Again, under the lighting inside as well, you can see that's not as glossy as a normal car that's been coated. Even a car that's behind it that's not coated, it still looks more glossy than that, just because there's a lot of layer of dust and so on that's actually on top of the paint. So what we're gonna do, again, we're gonna start washing the car. There's a few things that we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna talk about this later as well with all the chemicals that we're gonna be using. But first of all, what we're gonna be doing is cleaning the wheels first. We'll always start from the bottom with the wheels, clean it first, get rid of all the brake dust and so on, so that we're not gonna clean it after and then bring more dust up towards the car later on. So again, brake dust, clean the wheels first, and then what we're gonna do is rinse the car, foam the car up, let the foam set for 30 seconds, let everything fall down, all the dust and so on with the lubricant, and do it naturally so that we're not scratching the car. And then we're gonna start washing the car with our mitt gloves and shampoo. Remember, the shampoo that we're going to be using, everything that we're going to be using today is pH neutral, so that it's not damaging to the ceramic coating or any other surfaces as well. Now, when we inspect the car for ceramic coating, we're always going to see whether or not the car surface is beading. If the car surface is beading, that means the coating is working and it's still on the car. If it's not beading, there's two reasons why. Number one, the coating's gone. Or number two, there's too much dust. There's a layer of dust on the actual panel and it's not beading at all. See how it's just sheeting? So that's not right. What it should be doing is beading. I don't know if you can get the top. That should be beading on the top. That's beading and that's not beading. So a lot of people say, oh, my coating's not working anymore. No, just pretty much, have you washed your car? If you have and it's still not beading, then there's something wrong with your coating. But if you've just got a layer of dust, it's as simple as cleaning that layer of dust before you actually, think about advancing to different scenarios. First things first, if you have a hose, just use a hose. If you have a pressure washer, use a pressure washer at home. All we're gonna do is we're gonna stand a few feet away from the car. I'm gonna start rinsing the car down first. This is to get the initial stuff off the car so that the car will have a better surface to work on with all the other things I'm gonna do later. So first of all, rinse the car. We're gonna start from the side and the bottom. Next step we're gonna do is the wheels. So it's as simple as using this. We use something called iron. Geon iron basically is a solution that is able to, break down all the brake dust and all the contamination on the wheels very easily. It makes a sort of plum, sort of a, metallic sort of smell. And when it reacts, you'll be able to see purple liquid coming out, and that's very, very normal. So you see that it's actually working. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spray along the wheel and let it just react. Now, a lot of people forget to spray here as well. Remember, brake dust is one of the most abrasive dust that you can get on your wheel. So if you're not getting all of the dust off with this, then what you're doing is just scratching the car. if it's actually on the panel. So what we're going to do is spray the wheel well. And if you see it react with the purple sort of color, that you know that all the brake dust has actually formed around here as well. So this thing, again, pH neutral, is going to react all around here. And then to the next wheel. So the first thing it does over here is it reacts to it, and it's purple, because that's where most of the brake dust is. That's where the brake pad is, and it's reacting already in the brake disc. Let's come to the back. As you can see, it's already reacted. We've got purple everywhere over here, which means that definitely there's brake dust on the paintwork, which is not good. So what we're going to do now is use different sort of brushes to clean the wheel. So I've got a small one, a big one, and also a proper brush. The brush over here, it's easy cleaning the bolts, getting deep, cleaning the bolts inside, and all the smaller crevices like here as well. All here as well. And the bigger brushes just go along here. Remember, it's very important that we clean this while it's wet. When it dries, what's going to happen is that the dust is just going to bond back onto the wheel and all the paint, which means then there was no point doing it in the first place. And then here as well. Get it nice deep inside. And I'm going to just really break apart. This is clear evidence that brake dust can still travel to the side and the bottom of the car, which is not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start watering that down before it dries. So while Loki is helping me with the other wheels, I'm going to start foaming the car up with foam. What we use is mint foam solution over here. And what that basically does is, oh, actually, let me say, a lot of detailers, they put foam on their cars just to look cool, and they don't really know the function of the foam. So let me tell you what the function of the foam is. First of all, a foam liquid is only good when it makes foam, right? So a lot of people, they try to save on money and save on cost, and they try to make the most disgusting looking foam ever. We call that half a foam, and it just looks like this. It's like, it's not foam, it's not water, it's kind of like air and bubbly, and it just, look at that. That's not foam. Once it's mixed, it should be like this. It should be a dark green sort of a color, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach it to our pressure washer, and then you're gonna see the difference between what we did just then and what it's gonna be like now. So that's what it's gonna be like when we foam it up. A real thick layer of foam. And by the laws of gravity, it's just bring all the dust down. It's like cappuccino. Okay, so after we foam the car, we're going to leave it on for a few minutes. And again, as I said, by the laws of gravity, it's going to pretty much pull down most of the dust that's still loose on the car, off the car, with the lubricated solution. Now, as I said before, I said it's not good to be washing your car under direct sunlight because stuff like this takes time. When you're washing your car and you're foaming it up, you're using gravity to pull down most of the loose dust. If you're doing it outside, before the dust is even moving down, it would already dry and settle back to its new spot on the car, which means the car is just dirty, but in a different way again. So that's why it's always good to be washing it in the shade or inside a undercover area. Give credit to people who do wash cars outside. It's really tough to be able to wash it outside. We do that as well, we still do. So we just have to speed up the process. Now that most of it's settled, as you can see, some of it's still moving down, but most of the top is settled. What we can do now is use the 2-bucket method to clean your car. Now, 2-bucket here. One is clean water, one is clean water with solution. We use Duragloss. Duragloss is awesome. Look at my bubbly hands from Duragloss. It doesn't streak. So if you are washing cars like outside and so on, this one's a non-streaking, non-spotting sort of a compound, not compound, solution, which means that if you're washing it outside and the sun is really like damaging, it's not going to cause any sort of paint defects in the long run. Also, as the name suggests, it gives a really gloss sheen to your car, even if it's not coated. But it does give a really glossy sort of a finish. Finally, it's really, really lubricated. So it's really good. So everything you do on a car when we're talking about washing, we don't want dry stuff on dry stuff. What happens is that if you put dry cloth on a dry paintwork, it's gonna like scratch, right? So all we want is to lubricate everything. So this one's lubricated, that's what lubricated. We've got a shampoo water, clean bucket to wash your mitt gloves. And what we're gonna do is start washing. So mitt glove, water, this. And we're gonna start washing the top. Cool thing about washing, especially with all these chemicals, is that you don't have to really push too much pressure onto the paintwork. A lot of people they go really, really hard. And what happens is when you're pushing really hard and there's any sort of rocks or dirt on the paintwork, you're actually just scratching it left to right. So what we would just lightly get rid of most of the contamination and the dusty bits, all that. And then you think that's dirty, wash it here in the washing bucket, back into the shampoo bucket, and then repeat. Always remember, go from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wash off the part I've done before it dries. And check that out, it's beading again. Ah, how fascinating. All right, guys, so basically we've cleaned the car already. It's completely clean. You can see that there's a bit of a gloss, well, a lot of gloss now on the car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dry it. So drying process is just as important as the cleaning process. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna quickly dry it out. There's two ways to dry it again. One is blow drying, which we won't be doing today. What we're gonna do, we're gonna teach you how to just dry with a normal towel, because that's what most people do at home, and how to use a normal towel to dry, not scratching it. Make sure the towel's still a little bit lubricated. If it's not, here's a really fun fact. The toughest and most non-scratchable surface on a car is actually your windows, because glass don't scratch as easy as your paint. So put the dry towel on the window, dry the windows first, and then that will lubricate your towel. After you dry your windows, then you can start driving. Now that's lubricated, you can dry the paintwork. It's as simple as this. You don't have to put too much pressure. Just throw it out in the front and pull it back. Throw it out to the front, pull back. And that's dry. Now, if you're a true professional, you can do it lightly and like Loki, and you're basically, just wiping it, just like that. Over here, small crevices. See where my hands are? See how wide the towel is? Put your hands towards the middle of the towel. Get to where this is and just lightly wipe it like that. Awesome, and that's the front done. So drying at home, especially when you have a coated car, is actually a lot easier than when it's not coated, because the coating makes the water really just repel off the paintwork, which means it's not sticking onto the paintwork and it's easier to wipe off and clean. So guys, that's pretty much it. That's how you wash your car and maintain your car after it's coated. A lot of people ask why we need to do that in the first place. One of the biggest misconceptions of ceramic coating is that after you coat your car, you don't ever have to wash your car ever again. That's completely false. We've said that before in the last video. It doesn't work like that. Ceramic coating is paint protection. It's your first front line of protection when any contamination hits your car. What happens is, after the contamination is actually on your car, it may eat through that ceramic coating. Once that protection's gone, it's your paint next. That's going to be eaten by that disgusting bird poo or whatever comes your way on your car paint. So just remember, it's always important to clean off those contamination before it starts eating into your paint protection. Otherwise, your car paint's going to be in jeopardy and, you know, not good. So again, we say wash your car every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, minimal once every month. However, again, I still recommend every 2 weeks, get your car washed, get your car maintained, and bring it to us, experts who specializes in ceramic coating. We'll be able to tell if there is bird poo that's already eaten into your ceramic coating. There might be a spot where it doesn't bead anymore, or a spot that just doesn't look right. And what we do, we can touch it up and fix it as part of per warranty. We will actually fix it without any costs, which is awesome. And your car will be looking brand new. Right now, I'm just going to go through a few of the chemicals we've used again on those cars. Remember, if we have the right tools, we'll be able to finish the job, number one, more efficiently and in a much more effective manner. So these are our tools. Simple, number one, we talked about rinsing the car when we were washing the car. Then we used iron, right? What did the iron do? It separated all the brake dust and all the dust from your car wheels, and it made it much easier to clean in the end. Then what we did was we foamed the vehicle up with the mint foam from Car Care. And what the mint foam really did, again, if you dilute it correctly in your Karcher foam gun or any sort of gurney that you have at home, it will be able to drag all the loose dust and all the contamination off the car through gravity. Then what we did was we used Duragloss shampoo with super high lubrication to wash the body of the car to get rid of most of the dust and the leftover contaminant that's stuck on the car, and then leaving it with a very, very glossy finish. Remember, put it in the bucket over here with our mitt gloves. Remember to use mitt gloves when you're cleaning your car and not a sponge. The reason being is because when you're using a mitt glove, you've actually got all the hair over here that will trap leftover contamination and dust inside the mitt glove. Whereas if you use a sponge, there's lots of holes in the sponge. It's just gonna catch on to any of those contamination, all those dust, all those small rocks, and then you basically, when you're washing it left to right, it's just scratching it left to right. That's pretty much it. And then remember, rinse afterwards, never let it dry. Dry it immediately with your air gun or with your microfiber towel, but never let it dry with all the water spots on there. It's gonna cause more damage to your car. Again, hope this was informative. Again, if you have any questions or any inquiries, message us, give us a call. We'll be able to help you, and just keep it fresh.